Welcome. This video is going to briefly show you the basics of using Moodle. Moodle is a learning management system, which basically means that it extends the classroom so that you can post both classroom activities and resources available online that students can access at any time. Now this is a clean installation. I just set this up. It took me about 5 minutes and I was able to get Moodle working on my server. You can either set it up on your personal server so that it would be youraddress.com, or you can use a third-party website. There are some that are free, some that cost just a few dollars a month. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. So you see, this is the general welcome page that I see as the administrator. The students wouldn't see these different things about settings or being able to edit this page. This is just the administrator is able to edit this. So the first thing you would want to do is to add a new course. The way Moodle's organized is by courses. So you could set a course up for your art class or your 4th grade class or all of your biology 1 classes. I'm going to go ahead and add a new course. Okay, so you have to fill out a quick form. So say this is my English 1 class. You have to give it a name. You can give it a description if you want. Now, there are a couple of different formats, and you can download additional formats from Moodle.org. The topics format, it would organize it by topics that I specify. So if I was doing English 1, I wanted to have a topic on the hero's journey, a topic on the American dream, a topic on British literature. I could do it that way. If I wanted to do it under social, that really focuses on different discussion forums and getting people interacting with each other. And if I wanted to do weekly, that is the most common usually in schools because schools progress weekly. So you would have a different section of the class for each week where you would post your resources and activities. Set the number of weeks, and there are a few other things you can choose there, and you can go ahead and hit Save Changes. Okay, so here it brings you to the spot where you can enroll users. I don't have any students having created accounts yet since this is a brand new site, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on my class so that I can start setting it up. Now you'll notice right now there are several weeks, but there's nothing in them yet. There's also a news forum up at the top. The left and right columns are generally for navigation, for announcements. Every time you add an assignment or an event, something like that, it'll add it to the course calendar here for the students to see. Over here on the left, they can click on the home page. There are other courses. The settings is a panel just for you as the administrator. So the left and right columns are really for navigation, things like that. The middle column is where all of the learning activities actually take place. Now, when I used Moodle with my English classes, I spent the end of each day, right up at the top, I would spend a quick 5 minutes and just post what we did that day. Really helped keep the students who are absent and helped keep the parents informed as to what was going on in the class. So I'm going to go ahead and click Turn Editing on so I can go ahead and start. So right now there's not really much for the students to do yet. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add an Activity or a Resource. A good way to remember this is an activity is anything the students will do. A resource is anything that they'll consume. So a resource could be something like a movie or a link or a document or a presentation. So you see that here under resources you can give them books or files or folders or links. Activities are much more interactive. Moodle is based on social constructivism, the idea that students construct new knowledge while working together and learning from each other. So you can create an assignment, and it gives you a little description there. You can create a database, which is very versatile. You can have a chat box. I've done this before to have office hours outside of school time. You can create a quiz. I'm going to go ahead and hit a discussion forum. This is my favorite activity in Moodle, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Add. Alright, so you want to give the forum a name. That's what it'll say, what the students will click on. A lot of times when I used Moodle with my English classes, I would set it up so that the students had to answer at least 2 questions during the week. And I was teaching in a blended environment where they also had me during the day, and then they could use Moodle outside of class time, and they had to respond to at least 2 people in each question. Now, I would almost always make the questions such that they were higher order questions that require critical thinking, so that it wasn't just a 2 or 3 word answer. The students actually had to explain and defend, and the responses that they gave to other people had to be substantive. So there are a lot of settings you can set there. I'm just going to go ahead and save and return to course. And you'll see when I turn editing off, it will turn off all this extra stuff and make it look a lot cleaner. That's the way the students will see it. The students won't be able to edit it. You can click on that forum I just created. Okay, nobody's had any discussions yet, so I would hit add a discussion topic. And for every discussion topic, you have to give it a topic, and you have to give it a message. And they can attach things, they can add links, format the text, and all that. So when you hit post to forum, it puts it right in the forum for other people to read. They would click on the subject of your discussion to read it. Now, the forum activity is fairly straightforward, and most of the activities are. This isn't providing anything that is technologically groundbreaking. Discussion forums have been around. There are websites that allow you to do quizzes. There are websites that allow you to do wikis. There are websites that allow you to do blogs. What Moodle does is it gives you a central location that you can organize the students' learning around. Provide differentiated instruction, you can provide access to all of the class resources, you can provide access to all of the class members. So in that regard, it is an extremely powerful tool. Granted, we have not demoed very much in terms of the number of activities, but each of the activities could take its own video. Basically, when you turn editing on, try to figure out what types of learning objectives do you want to meet with your students. And once you do that, which type of activity or resource, remember, activity is something they perform or they do or they research, or resource is something that they consume or they read or they watch. Which types of activities and resources will help you to guide the students while they're learning from each other to meet those learning objectives? That's where the strength of Moodle lies.